Hello, fellow Virgos. This includes me. So what do we have plant spirit ally-wise for February? You're gonna giggle when you see the shape, if you know the shape. We have Yucca, which is the Adelita of Earth, the warrior of Earth, and this is Brigid. Look at it. I mean, no one can ever accuse us Virgos of, not being on theme, not being on brand. So the Adelita, meaning warrior, is all about drive and autonomy. So they are knights from the traditional. So it would be tarot card, the Knight of Pentacles. Here we have Yucca, the Adelita or warrior of Earth. Put a new spin on an old tradition, ground your spirituality in practical ways, and honour your ancestors, honour the land. Oh, Virgos, I've got you. I know what we're doing. Because I'm a Virgo too. A young woman finds herself in the desert in winter. The voices of her elders urge her to ground herself by creating beauty with her hands. Interesting. She seeks out long green plants and discovers the glorious yucca. She creates a bridge between her ancestors and the ancestors of the desert by weaving a Bridget's cross, a sacred symbol of her half Celtic heritage. The Adelita of Earth is driven by the powers of the place. She explores new ways to embody old traditions, using what is locally available to her without depleting resources. I think we're all going to like that, right, Virgo? I think that sounds good. With the spirit of her foremothers behind her, she vows to respect the people and medicine of her home. She explores nature's bounty and creates practical but intuitive connections to the land. Could we get more Virgo? Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. She is committed to an earth-honouring spiritual path wherever she finds herself. She is in service of nature without ego. Oh my God, I could cry. It's so beautiful. She is realistic and hardworking. To create a crafting connection with this card, or with Yucca, honour the ancient ones, create immortal symbols of your heritage with what grows in your area, teach the power of place, learn the story of the yucca moth and share it with others, take a class and learn about weaving fibre with yucca. Now, yucca is going to be something which is not as easily accessible to many of us as it's from the desert. So if we're in like a European country like a reed, or like if you've got any wheat left over from last season or anything like that, or something that you can easily sort of weave the Bridget's cross with. Traditionally, it tends to be like a willow sometimes, or it can be a wheat or a reed or something of that nature. But there are some really important points here, Virgo, for your February. And it really does tap into the essence of what it means to be a Virgo. So a lot of the other cards have had very wonderful advice, and they bring out elements of what has been for the other star signs a key part of their personality. But this, for Virgos, is almost like right down the essence of who you are. It's bringing out who you are at ground level. Ground your spirituality in practical ways and honour your ancestors, honour the land. So we're all about waking the earth. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing on Patreon in February. And that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about here with regards to this particular energy. So the knight, the warrior, is in search of. They are creating, striving, seeking, fighting their battles in terms of warriors. But it doesn't necessarily mean in the aggressive way. It can be in a shielding way. It can be to speak truth. It can be to bring new direction and to lead people through difficult times. If we were awakening the earth together and our connection to it, we're honouring the archetype of Virgo, which is the priestess, which has been lost from a lot of modern astrology. So being of the land, being in those liminal spaces, awakening the essence of the earth. The world is starting to awaken in the northern hemisphere as we move through February. We go past Imbolc and we go towards the spring equinox. Things are beginning to shift and change and renew and grow again. And as we connect to that essence within the land, we connect to that essence within ourselves. We bring forth the cycles of change within the earth and then within ourselves. So as the more deeply rooted into the space we are, into the earth, into the ground, the more we can awaken the magic within ourselves, the more we can shift to the places that we want to be, Virgo. There is some interesting... The voices of her elders urge her to ground herself by creating beauty with her hands. So that's a direct message, Virgos. So the voices of your elders, listen for them. They've been very loud for this Virgo in particular over the last couple of months, and they have been very protective. So don't disconnect yourself just because you feel displaced. If that is something that you are feeling, that you are not in the right place, and it's almost like you can't feel as though you fit, or you don't feel that you belong, just remember that you are always connected through the spiritual ecosystem, and your ancestors are always with you. You will ground yourself, which is very important, by creating beauty. So whatever it is that you can do with your hands to create physical beauty will make you feel 1,000 times better. A quote that comes from me is, when the world gets too ugly, I go create something beautiful. That's how I sometimes cope with the world being really hideous. Like when the worst is happening in the world, I go back and create something physically beautiful. Driven by the power of place, explore new ways to embody old traditions. So you don't have to do things in the exact same way that you've always done them, Virgo. This is very, very spiritual, but there is some interesting through lines here for the everyday life that you might find around you. So Bridget is for healing, okay, and alchemy. Like, if I had to put one thing on Bridget, she's a very multifaceted goddess and she has many areas, but it would be transformation and personal alchemy. She takes one thing and changes it, creates change within the world. Healing, blacksmithing, singing, bardery, and so forth. She creates states of change. And so if you are looking for change, it's coming. We have the Knight here. So what's happened throughout the entirety of the reading so far is people have been at either a very new beginning, like at a 3, or they've been right at the end of something ending. And this is just fighting for what it is that you need. This is a shift, a change. It's very earth-centered. It's travel and shift and getting away from things, but keeping yourself grounded in that present and not living too much in the future when you do. Yucca is used for weaving baskets, rope and shoes, so very practical. Get your practical hat on, use what is around you, don't get too airy-fairy in your head, like don't get too dreamy with what could be. Use what you have, and that will sustain you through February, Virgo. It will get you to where you're going. Realistic, hardworking Virgos are anyway, I don't think I have to tell you guys. And as you connect to this sacred energy of the ancestor, it's going to propel you forward into your best future, because they are the ones that are guiding you, they are the ones that love you, and they are going to keep you on the right path, Virgo. Have a wonderful February and many blessings.